Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, I looted 400 saves and I'm going to compile all that information together just so you guys can understand everything that safes provide. As well as that, I'll show you where they're found, compare it to my video from 12 months ago, the items that you find in there and the chances of finding them, and then how to capitalize from this information. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So there are plenty of saves in the game, and overall, you can find a large amount of items of high value that spawn in them. Previously, saves had this thing where it was kind of like absolutely amazing because money stacks used to be up to like 3,000 rubles in a stack, and you'd find like 200 or 300 euros or dollars at a time. And safes used to be incredibly profitable, and people used to literally just run to the safe in factory and just die there because the money alone was actually worthwhile. That was quite a while ago. That was a good couple of years ago. And then safes took a massive nerf about 12 months ago. And that's when I made the video where I farmed, I think it was like 103 safes. And back then, safes, the cash got dropped a lot. It was also around the same time they nerfed cash registers because the cash register stacks were making too much money. And safes kind of got to this point where they were like not even really worth going out of your way for. Since I've introduced a whole heap of new items to the saves and the game, and also buffed some of the spawn rates of these items, safes have now became a lot more viable to loot. So in most safes, you're going to have a very high chance of finding rubles, dollars, or euros. And these can go straight into your docs case or your SIC case as well, or if you've got a wallet, and take up very little space. On top of that, you can get golden neck chains, the golden rooster, the gold skull rings, wooden clocks, horses, antique books, antique vases, silver badges, cat figurines, bronze lions, chainlets, GP coins, teapots, bitcoins, ravens, and rollers. So you can actually get a large variety of items, and majority of these actually have quite a large value. So looting safes just from that alone has potential of making a lot of money. But I wanted to make sure I had the facts for you guys so you could actually have a good idea of how much money you can make from these safes. So what I actually did, I looted all 400. I took a screenshot every single time, and then I got all that information put together into a spreadsheet so you guys can understand exactly the spawn chances of each of the items and what's the value of the overall safe. So after 400 safes being looted, some of the standout items that have definitely had a massive increase is the antique book now spawns 8% of the time. And when they're spawning at 8% of the time and they're at the value of 54,000 rubles to therapist, that's actually quite good. There's maps at the moment that have 11 safes in them, and you could pretty much go to all 11 safes and find one in those 11. And that's 50,000 rubles just there. That takes up 2 squares, not to mention all the other stuff that you're going to loot. Chainlets are actually the most popular item outside of cash, but it's not a massive one. GP coins will spawn around the same time as antique books, and these ones will also go into a docs case or a SIC case, meaning it's not going to really take up any room whatsoever. Now, I would go through every single item, but I'll make the information available on the screen just over there for you, and you can actually see the rates in which these items spawn. On top of that, after calculating the values of every single item, it actually worked out to be 34,900 rubles on average per safe. Now, that is a massive step up to 12 months ago when it was 14,000 rubles. So there are a few spots in the game where safes can actually be quite close to each other. And if you were to loot like 2 or 3 safes, you're actually probably going to make anywhere between, it could be 30,000 or 20,000 in a safe up to 150,000. So these safes are actually pretty crazy if you can loot them quite consistently. Now, I know after I make this video, everyone's going to be going crazy trying to loot all the safes. So, hey, you need to get PvP kills, there's an option. But what I want to say is the way I would do it is I wouldn't actually farm safes if I was you guys. Just if you're going past one, you should definitely loot it. Like, it's actually worth going slightly out of your way to loot one. Now, if you're trying to charge, say, to the resort and you were going to you're going there for certain reasons like quest items or, you want to get the good loot out of the resort, I probably wouldn't detour to the cottages on the way there. But for example, on the way back, you finished a resort and you're heading towards the tunnel extract, going by the cottages to get the 4 safes there would be definitely worth it. Because you got to base the risk versus reward and the time lost in getting to the resort and the potential of the resort loot, for example. And that really goes into how you can really capitalize from one of these, from going around and looting these safes. Now, in the resort, there's 3 safes right there. There's the cottages has 4. Down by the pier and the gas station, you can get another 3 down there. There is like a lot of safes you can just make bank on in Shoreline. But the problem is it's taking up space. And the problem with a lot of the looting in Tarkov is, you know, there's like weight taken up or extra squares taken up in your backpack or rig. The beauty about safes is if you have a docs case, and docs cases are pretty cheap. They range between 150,000 rubles and sometimes they go up to 300,000 or 400,000. But you can really make your money back fast and pay for one of these if you're short. So, for an example, is if you have a docs case, you can put stuff like a GP coin, a Bitcoin. What else was there? I think the silver badge might fit in there, unless they've changed that one as well. And all the cash, all that can go inside there. And that takes up no extra space. And if you've got keys in there, it's just pure profit for no space taken up, and it doesn't also weigh very much at all. Then the other items that you will be finding, say the ravens, are actually pretty popular as well. I seem to find ravens and like lions and stuff like that as well. You can put them in your container, or you can try and extract with them. They weigh a little bit more, but the value of them is actually quite high. And this is how you're going to really capitalize. So a lot of people don't really understand the fact that how cheap some keys are to get into safes, and then obviously some of them are a little bit more expensive. And I'll move into that now. So depending on the map that you go to, is how many safes there are. Woods and factory only have 1 each. Labs, I think there's 4. I'm fairly confident there's 1 in the management, or there is 1 in the management office, and then there's 2 down the far end offices, and I think there's 1 underneath in an office, which would make it up to 4. I can't remember anyone outside of those areas. I don't believe there's a single safe in interchange, but I could be wrong with that one. But when you come to customs and Shoreline, this is where you're going to make a lot of money. And reserve, there's a couple as well. So reserve up by the dome, there's a key that gets into one of them. I'll put the link up on the key up on the screen with a map image to show you exactly where it is. But there's 2 safes in one. One's in the top of the weapon cabinet and under the desk, and the other one's in the other building adjacent to it. Easy to just swing by them on the way to the paracord extract or the red rebel extract, and you can use that quite easily. Or I know a lot of people go there straight away, so that's an option there. The Shoreline and customs is where you're actually really going to capitalize from this. Most people don't really, I don't know, like I nearly always find these safes that are behind locked doors not touched, because most people either don't know about it, don't realize how good they are, or they're just, you know, ignoring them for whatever reason. So the customs office key in the big red warehouse, that's a pretty well-known one. That safe is the one I probably go to the least out of all the safes. You can go by that if you're already up there, but the problem is there's a lot of PvP action that happens up there, and I probably would avoid it if I could give any advice on that one, unless you're already going up there. That one, just data dump from your mind, and don't make that one a priority. But then when you start heading over to dorms, now it's already a high contested area, but you can go there a bit later in the raid and still capitalize from this. Now, all these keys are very cheap. Some smartass is probably going to try and buy them all up and fix the prices, but if you wait like 24 hours, they'll go back to being cheap. In 3-story dorms, go to room 204 and 214. The top of the weapons safe in 204, and in 214, there's an actual proper safe. They all safes have the same loot table, by the way. If the safes are locked safe or not locked, all the same loot table. So top of the weapon case in 204 and in 214. Both really never get touched. Very, very few raids I go into, these ones are touched. Heading over to the 2-story dorms, you have the 105 room, which has a safe in it. The 110, which has a safe in it. And also on the bed can spawn flash drives and fuel conditioners. So you should definitely be getting this key and making it part of your customs collection of keys. Across from the hallway, 114, this is a quest key as well. You can get this key very, very easily at the checkpoint. There's a car with a boot open, and there's a jacket in the back of it. Spawns probably about 50% of the time in there. So if someone's trying to price fix the key, or it's early in a wipe, this is like one of the first keys I get just straight out of the jacket. As soon as I'm in a customs raid, every time I'm going past it, I'm searching that jacket for that key, because you need it for a quest later on. There's a computer, a med box, and a safe in there. It's just a really good room to have. Um, I'll go back to the 105 key. Across the hall from that in 104, there's 2 jackets and a toolbox. Jackets have now got a lot of key spawns in there, and it's worth just, you're already at 105 to go into 104 and check the jackets and the toolbox if you feel like it. So just in the dorms area, from 3-story to 2-story dorms, you've got yourself 5 safes in a very close proximity. And if we're working off the average of 35,000, top of my head, that's what, about 185,000 rubles to about 175,000 rubles you can make. Like, and it will all fit generally within an alpha container. Like, so it's not like you need like a massive amount of space. If you've got a docs case with the keys in it, you put all the cash, the Bitcoins, the GP coins, and that all in the docs case. And then if you get like an antique book on top, and that will fill up your other 2 spots. That is easy money, right? I'm giving you the easy money way here. Heading over to the gas station as well. There's the I think it's called the cabinet key. I'll make sure all the information's up there nice and proper. But the cabinet key, which is the office in there, also has a safe. Very rarely gets touched. And there you go. You've got yourself 6 very easy safes to get to. They're easy to get to and very rarely touched. Now, obviously, after this video, it'll probably take a week or 2 before they stop getting farmed like crazy. But just use this knowledge long term. And also check all my videos. I know I should say this more often, but you should always check my videos for the dates of them, because these things do change as well. Like I said, my safe video from 12 months ago is now outdated, and this one is the most recent information. Now, that is the end of customs for safes. The next map you can definitely look at is Shoreline. Now, Shoreline is a bit of a different one, because you've got 3 areas that have high concentration of safes, and it depends on how you want to go about it. So we'll start with the easiest ones to get to, which is the cottages. The 2 cottages, one of them doesn't require a key to get into, and there's 2 safes, and one of them at the top of the weapon cabinet. Then you head over to the other safe, cottage, and you need the cottage key to get in there. Now, this key is generally very cheap, but if it does go up in value, there is a blue barrel out the front of the cottage, and the key spawns on top of it. You can get that key, you get inside, you get 1 safe for doing that. The other safe inside there requires a cottage safe key. Now, once you get the cottage safe key, you can unlock that and loot it in there. The second one, the locked cottage, is nearly always untouched, but the other cottage from time to time has been looted. So those are 4 very closely connected safes, and if you're there early in a raid with no intention to go to the resort, I would highly suggest swinging by this area. The next area you have is down by the pier, and there is the gas station, which is on fire. Now, if you go into the front of the gas station and hug the left wall, the fire will not burn you. And you can hug the wall all the way into the little office area, and there is a safe as soon as you enter. That is one down there. And then when you head down to the pier, or the docks area, there is 2 more safes inside the big building on the left, the 2-story building on the left. Upstairs, 1 on each end, you can get a safe there. Now, that's I generally don't like going down to this one unless I'm going to try and use the docks extract, pier extract, because I generally find a lot of player scavs spawn down this area, and also it just seems to be an area that I die a lot, for whatever reason. A lot of players start heading down that way. They hear gunshots on scavs and that. And it's very easy to get trapped down there. So just be a bit more wary heading down this way. Now, the next 3 safes are located in the actual resort. Now, there's the safe 321 key. This is located on the west wing on the 3rd floor. You need to go up the staircase at the far end. And on the 3rd floor, it's the safe 321 key. This safe is just like a normal safe. You need to unlock it first to get into it. I generally don't go to this one unless I'm already in the west wing. And it's definitely perfectly fine to go to, but it's one of those things where the time I spend in resort is either moving really quickly for a quest, or I'm hunting down players and trying to capitalize on that loot. If you're in a squad, this is definitely something you should be hitting every time, because you've got more people to spread out over the actual resort. But just be a little bit careful about how much time you spend when looting this safe, because you're going to be making noise upstairs, and there's really only one way out, which is that far end staircase. Heading over to the administration building. Now, there's 2 safes locked on the top floor, and when you go down to each side, there's the health resort management office safe key, and the other one's like the health resort safe key. What I'll do is I'll make sure the images are up there for you, so you actually know exactly which key it is. But these keys can vary from 100,000 rubles, and I've seen them as expensive as 400,000 rubles. If you're already heading through a resort, this is two safes you should definitely loot. And I swing by them every time, just because it's just easy money. Like I think you should get the point by now, but it's just quite easy money. So look, I don't want to ramble on anymore. I don't think, guys, you should just do safe runs. I don't think it's actually going to make you enough to be value for your time. But the emphasis of this video I really want to put out there is safes are now actually really good. And if you're going past one, you should definitely be looting them. So, yeah, I'll finish this one up here. Hopefully this has been very informative to you. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so go down the link below. Give me a follow over there. Got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up on my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. Shinobu ni ayaya, ayayo, ayaya.